Hi, Statesmen Nation. We're sitting down with head women's bowling coach Kirsten Foster as we preview the 2025-2026 season. This is year 5, Coach. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, that was a good guess. Okay. I was like, I knew it was somewhere in that range. So year 5 on the women's side. We just talked about the men's team. So let's talk about the women's team. You mentioned off camera as well as on camera with the men's thing, talking about that. It's been a little trying, obviously, at times, figuring out how to balance both teams and give everybody the as much you can equal representation of yourself. But how's it been from day one of the transition? Day one of the transition of having the men as well to where we're at now, getting ready for the first tournament.
I think we're working out some of the kinks there. As much as I told the girls, I was like, this should be smooth sailing for you guys. My goal is not to make any massive changes on their end, but it didn't happen. I'm still with them at tournaments and whatnot, but trying to juggle practices, right? They went from being used to me giving my 100% full attention to them every practice, all practice, not having to share. They had to get used to the idea of sharing my attention. And so they've been patient and they've been gracious with me. They're the ones that have been offering most of the feedback on how to handle practices and how to juggle that time. Mm-hmm. And so they've done really well with me, waiting for me to find the right groove. So they've done pretty good so far.
Good. Okay, let's break down the roster. Let's get right into talking about the returners, and then we can talk about the new faces.
Yeah, so returners, a couple of our varsity players that were on the team last year. You've got Kelsey. She's my two-hander from Las Vegas, senior this year. So really excited to have her back. Last year, second semester, I really felt like she hit her stride. Everything just seemed to really click into place for her. And it seems so far at practice that she's just kind of picked up where she left off. So I'm excited to see what this season is for her, because at the end of it, she was getting lots of playing time, was kind of relying on her a little bit for some stuff to happen. So I'm kind of hoping she picks up where she left off tournament-wise. And then Lucy, this is my 3rd year with her, but she is graduating a year early. She was able to get most of her classes done. So
which is a great thing for her. Obviously, a bummer for the program. Right?
Yeah, so I'm excited for her. She's moving on with life. At the same time, wish I had more time with her, but she's made a lot of strides in her time here. I mean, she's made a lot of massive changes to her physical game, and it's all coming together really nicely. So I'm really hoping, she's gonna have this phenomenal last year, and that because she's one that she doesn't always help me on the lanes. She also helps me off the lanes. She is one, if there's inevitable. Okay, there's always some sort of drama that happens. People just don't get along. She's been my buffer, and I didn't notice that. I didn't know that until halfway through the year last year, where she finally told me, and she's like, "Oh yeah, these things happen, but I took care of it for you." And I was like, well, "Thank you, thank you for doing part of my job." And so, so she does that a lot for me. She kind of helps get everyone to communicate a little bit better. But really excited. She brings a lot of energy to the table. So really excited to see how she does. Danielle Fincham, another one that was varsity last year. And she's on the quiet side, but she's also made some changes to her game. And so it's looking really good. So I'm excited to see what she brings to the table this year. And then just a couple others that I think are going to step up into some roles. Hannah Lee Songer, Ashley Gorman. They both were primarily JV last year, but when it came time to the postseason roster, they were my alternates, so they were still practicing with the team, but they both stepped up. Both did really well during our trials, so really excited to see kind of how they grow and prosper this year. And then for newcomers, a little bit of a different mix here. Alyssa Tanner, she's a freshman, got her from Michigan. Really great spare shooter. Came out trials just 90% on single pins, which is really good. I mean, that's all-American standards. So really excited to see how she grows and continues on with that. We got Elena Degenstein from Washington. And so she's bringing a little bit something different to the mix as well. And then newcomer to us, not new to William Penn, Brianna Thompson. She approached me last year about wanting to dual sport. So worked it out with the shotgun sports coach about how we can make that work with the schedule. And so she's actually been dual sporting. She will not be with us this weekend. It is like one of the only tournaments that our seasons overlap. So she's going to be with shotgun sports. But after that, she is with us. So I'm excited to see what she brings. That one's taken a lot of communication on both of our ends to communicate how schedules are going to work. So trying to juggle all that practicing and just making sure that, she's staying on top of her coursework and whatnot. But the girls really enjoy having her there. She told me originally that she was pretty quiet. And then the last 2 weeks of practice, I'm like, she has been just a spitball of fire, bringing in all of this energy. And I'm like, that's not what you told me, but we're here for it. Yeah. So really excited just to see how they all click. It's a little bit of a smaller group, but they all seem to be getting along really well right now. So I'm excited to see how they do.
Okay, let's talk about the schedule. You guys start off this weekend, and then you have your big tournaments throughout, and with the Hoosier, you got the Vegas trip in there. Just highlight some of them that you're really excited about.
Yeah, I mean, excited for this weekend. Everyone's they just want to bowl. They want to see, they've been putting in so much time and effort into their games, and they just want to see how it matches up at a tournament. So they're all really excited. I think they're a little bummed that it is Halloween weekend. And I was like, well, at least you can still have Halloween night. Yeah, because we're not going to leave till Saturday morning. Right. But they're all really excited. We get to see all of our conference teams, so we'll see how we match up. And let's see, NEI Invite's always a good one. Really enjoy that tournament. It's kind of a longer format because it's 3 days. Like day one's a tournament, day two's a tournament, and then day three is a combination of day one and day two. But it's
when you told me about it last year, I was still trying to wrap my mind around like why, how, but okay.
Yeah, it's like day three is not a tournament. It's like almost like a subsidiary of the first two tournaments. So we take our combined score and then top 8 make it to match play. Yeah. But it's in a house that in past history, our team has really enjoyed bowling in. So I'm really excited to see how that goes. We're going to see a lot of the West teams are there. So really excited to see how we match up with them as well. We got some other NEIA teams coming. I think SCAD Savannah is going to be there. I think St. Xavier. Some of the most recent top teams in the country are going to be there. So really excited to see how we stack up there. Vegas, always a fun one. People like the destination for various reasons. But it gets us out of the Midwest, and so they all get excited because they're like, it's December and we get to wear shorts. Right. And I'm like, cool, we're in a bowling alley all day.
Who cares, but okay.
Yeah. So, but excited for that one. That will actually be, I guess I forgot to mention in the last one, that will be the first tournament where I'll get to work with the men and the women because they bowl different shifts. So really excited for that to see how it goes. It's going to be a very tiring week. So, but it'll be fine. We just live off of coffee. That's normal. And then Hoosier's always a good one. Long day, same thing. Get to work with both teams that tournament. So makes for long days, but the girls have been bowling really well there the last couple of years. So I'm, the goal every year is to make match play there. You get 70 teams, and then if you say you make match play, you make the top 8. That's
a big deal.
That's a huge deal. So it's always the goal. But yeah, and then that's really that's normally our roster for postseason. So we would get to see how everyone clicks.
Sure. All right, let's throw a bow on it. Actually, back that up. We got to talk about the conference. Conference-wise, Mount Mercy joined in last year, right, on the women's side. So Mount Mercy, going to be the big threat. But you also have, Grandview's done well, Baker's done well. There's been other teams that have done well. Culver came out of nowhere and won it last year. Yeah. So, again, kind of like the men's side where you don't really know until you know, right?
Yeah, and I think last year was kind of a gut punch for us. We went, and I would say, leading into it, I think the expectation that the championship match would be some sort of combination of Mount Mercy, us, or Missouri Baptist. And then none of those teams made it. And this was the first time in 4 or 5 seasons that we were not involved in the championship match. And so it was definitely kind of like a eye-opening experience. We were just like, okay. But it was, talking to other coaches, it was eye-opening to all the other coaches in the conference too. Because everyone went in with the same expectations. And it was just like, wow. We always say, anything can happen in match play. And as a conference, we legitimately proved it last year. So many things just happened that we were just not anticipating. Now we're going back to that center, and there was a couple things in that center. The center is good itself. It was just like how the pattern played kind of caught us off guard. So we have a different strategy going into this year, and I'm not going to share it in case if there's other teams listening.
That's right.
We're going to hold that information to ourselves. And I told the girls the game plan, and they thought I was joking, and I was like, no, I'm serious. We're going to learn to do this. And so I'm really excited to see how that works. So it's either going to work out spectacularly well, or it's might be a dumpster fire, but it's totally fine. We will work through it as that goes. But yeah, Mount Mercy's back in the mix. Obviously, they're always a top contending team. I mean, last year they made it to ITC Nationals and they were in the championship match on TV. So, right, they're always a contender. Missouri Baptist, we don't hear about them a lot, but they're like quietly good. They can match up at any given point. Culver Stockton came out of nowhere last year, and they were the same ones where it was like if you paid attention, they were slowly getting better, and so I wasn't terribly surprised when they won last year. I was excited for them. Talked to their coach quite a bit, so I was really excited for them. Peru State's kind of been knocking on the door a little bit, so. And same thing with them. They came under a new coach probably about 2 or 3 years ago. And so now he's got some of his recruits in there, some previous recruits. And so I think that there's a chance we could see something from them. But yeah, the same thing. It can always be just like a little bit of a mix. And especially because there's quite a few new coaches in the conference. I mean, Baker, Clark, Culver. Yeah, there's quite a few new coaches in the conference, so you never know what they're going to bring to the table.
Sure.
And so, same thing. I think we learned we can't underestimate our opponents, and yeah, I think we should do a better job with that this year.
But again, it's match play, so you just never know, right?
Right.
When it comes out. So, all right, let's throw a bow on it. What's it going to take for the team to reach the goals that you guys are planning for or setting for the team?
Yeah. So. Keep doing what they're doing. They come into practice every day and they have the right intention, right? They're coming in and they know what they need to work on. Even the days where I'm not necessarily with them at practice, they're very self-reliant on what they're doing. And they do a good job of that. So I never feel like I have to hold their hand or instruct them and make sure they're doing what they're doing. They're doing it. And so making sure that they're trusting the process and what it takes to get there, because some of them are making some physical changes. But we're already seeing massive improvements. And then just remembering to, like I said earlier with the guys, be a team, communicate with one another. They all got such different styles of game, but communicating that if they make an adjustment or if they see something on that lane, that communication can give us a 2, 3, 4, 5 frame leg up on another team. And that makes a world of a difference, especially in match play when you only have 10, 20 frames, depending on how many games you bowl. You only have so many frames to get the job done. So we've been doing different communication practices to work on that and to be quicker on seeing stuff. And I think if they just remember to be confident in themselves, trust that they know what they're seeing, they're there. They can compete with the rest.
There you go. Okay. All right, once again, head women's bowling coach Kirsten Foster as the team prepares for the start of the year this weekend. Best of luck, coach, the rest of the way. Everything Statesmen Athletics on statesmenathletics.com, as well as all the social media channels, WPU Athletics. So best of luck, coach.
Thank you.
Thanks.